Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market prep video for January 26, 2024. Well, we certainly had a whipsaw day yesterday, gapping up, moving sharply higher, then whipping almost all the way back down in the diamonds, only to finish up very, very strongly on the day. Let's take a look at what happened overnight. First off, we had Asian markets that ended up closing mixed, but mostly higher. We had Shanghai up just 4 points last night, and Hong Kong reversed itself, moving down 160 points last night, or 259 points, 1.60%. European markets are strong across the board this morning after the ECB rate decision of holding rates steady. They're still hanging in there bullish across the board here this morning. And here in the U.S., we have futures looking a little bit lower after maybe some disappointing earnings last night after the bell. So we are looking just a little bit lower. We have oil this morning. Oil is moving slightly lower. We've got oil down 59 cents at 76.77 a barrel, and Brent is just slightly down. Natural gas is moving lower as well. If we take a look at our bonds this morning have pulled back just a little tiny bit. The 2-year bond is at 4.31%. 10-year is at 4.11%. So what does all that mean for today? Well, how about we settle in? Let's buckle up. Let's get ready for the Friday edition of the Morning Market Prep video. Good morning once again, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I do truly appreciate it. If you've been taking a look at this chart, you can see we got a problem here. I don't know what's happening here with TC2000. I am certain they will have it fixed right away, but we're missing some data here on TC2000, so I cannot trust these charts at the moment. But we're going to try and get through at least part of the morning prep video this morning. I thought about just ignoring it and not doing a video this morning, but I know there's a lot of folks that kind of rely on this report, so I wanted to do the best I could. So I pulled up a chart here. This is my Thinkorswim brokerage account, and I do have some charting in here. I can't cover everything, however, that I cover in TC2000. It's just not available on Thinkorswim. So if we take a look right here in the diamonds, we had that quite the whipsaw here in the diamonds yesterday, pushing up. This is a very, very bullish looking pattern here in the chart, and every reason to believe where we could push on higher. Remember, there is blue sky above here in the chart. If we continue to find bullishness, we could push up to that high of the day, high in the chart, and push on through that level. And if those bears were to come back into play, well, you can see we would be testing this area of the chart first as a price support. No, I had a question yesterday, and somebody asked me to talk about this just really quickly, and that's, I've been talking about blue sky highs, and they said, yeah, you keep talking blue sky highs, there's no resistance up there, but stocks often fall from blue sky highs. And he's exactly right, and that's one of the reasons I have been talking about every time we gap up in the market. I talk about that possibility when we're at blue sky highs gapping up. Watch for the pop and drop, because oftentimes we will get a pre-market pump up that will pop us into that top area, and we end up leaving shooting stars. We end up reversing completely, leaving bearish engulfing candles in the market. So you want to be really, really careful with those blue sky highs, particularly in the gap up. But what it also means when we have blue sky highs is there really is no price resistance up there to the top area of the chart. Now, certainly we can't go up at an unlimited basis all at once. There's not enough money. But just keep in mind, we don't have those resistance levels to deal with in a chart with blue sky highs. So hopefully that answers the question, and maybe you understand a little bit about why I kind of suggest anytime we're gapping in the pre-market, trying to push up here, and we're near blue sky highs or we're near price resistance levels, I suggest watch for that potential of a whipsaw. Now, one of the things you'll want to pay attention here in this diamonds chart on Thinkorswim, it doesn't provide us pre-market data here. So if you look at that, you can see that we are just a little bit lower here this morning in the pre-market futures, so just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at our SPY here really quickly, and we'll try to speed this up. SPY had a nice day yesterday, continuing to surge to the upside here. We whipsawed down, reversed, continued to the upside as those tech giants just continue to roar. They're just, I am honestly very surprised of the willingness of this market to chase these stocks higher. But there it is, and they continue to move very, very strongly, even though their PE ratios are way out of the box of any norm. Maybe that's okay, I don't know. But it's interesting that there is such a willingness to keep pushing these higher and higher and higher. Now, taking a look, if we can push on through, there's our high. If we can find some more bullishness today, then possibility of breaking out of that. Again, blue sky highs up there. And if we happen to find some bearish activity, will that push back into here? You will want to keep in mind this candle pattern right here would be considered a hanging man pattern near this top. So that does give you maybe just a little bit of concern and hesitation maybe, but with the wild bullishness that we're seeing in this market, there is really no evidence here except that of, you know, some potential pullback or rest coming in the market. And being a Friday, we kind of have a tendency of staying very, very bullish into the end of the week, no matter what, just because we want to push up. Then if we take a look at our QQQ also had a little bit of volatility, not as much as the other indexes, but you notice that we pushed down yesterday, pushed down pretty substantially. We tested a little support there in the chart, and then by the end of the day, pushed back up. This is our high up here. Once again, blue sky highs above there. If we can push on through. Now this pattern right in here is probably giving some of those folks just a little bit of hesitation. And the fact that we have our futures maybe just a tiny little bit lower here this morning might be giving a little bit of hesitation. But if those bulls can push on through, well, again, blue sky highs up there. Test this support. If we can hold that support, we're in good shape. If that support were to happen to fail, that would be a little bit of a problem. So keep a close eye on that. And then last but not least is our Russell IWM. Taking a look at this, as you can see in here, IWM just hasn't had the love that everything else has had. As you can see, we've been struggling in here, that bearish engulfing candle. It did not follow through to the downside, so you got to give that to the bulls. They weren't able to push that on through, but we're still struggling in here pretty substantially because we cannot benefit from those big tech stocks continuing to push this index. So watch that carefully in here. There is some price support in this chart. So if the bulls can find inspiration today in the data, then pushing on through up into here is what we'd be watching for, getting up into there. And if the bears were to find inspiration, then we'd look for a retest of this support down here. If that were to fail, then I'm going to suggest we're going to come back down into this area of the chart on the Russell. Now, if we take a look at our VIX, whoops, still trying to adjust here. If we take a look at our VIX is interesting in the fact that while we whipsawed yesterday and then strongly rallied, notice our fear is continuing to come up here in the VIX a little bit. So I think there's an acknowledgement in the overall market, even though there is no willingness to stop the chase, there is an acknowledgement in the market that we're overbought, and fear is starting to come up as we start stretching this market higher. And although we did break this trend right in here and pushed it back down, I don't know that it was enough seeing this push back up that we shouldn't have a little bit of hesitation or a little bit of concern. Now, it could just be that hesitation for the data that's coming today. That's a possibility. But just kind of keep that in mind. If we continue to see this moving up as the bulls keep buying, well, that might be a little bit of a warning. So just watch that closely. Now, I cannot cover the T20s today. If I go to TC2000 and put in T2122, what you're going to find here is we're missing data. As a matter of fact, what we did yesterday, we pushed back up into here substantially. We've got missing data here, so I can't cover those this morning. I apologize. Nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. Hopefully they'll have this fixed very soon. I've never seen this problem before with TC2000, so I guess they're allowed to have a mistake every once in a while. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to run through a list now, just keeping in mind that the price action here might show erroneous information here, but I just want to give you the list of notables today to be paying attention to. AXP will be reporting. Looks like it's getting it, if this data is correct, a good pre-market pump up here. Perhaps the earnings was really, really good, so keep an eye on that. ALV, BMI, BAH, Colgate. We've got First Hawaiian Bank reporting. Fortis, GNTX, Imperial Oil, Norfolk Southern. We've got Southside Bank. And last but not least, STEL will be reporting today. So, and keeping in mind, the majority of these will be coming early this morning here in the pre-market. So keep that one in mind. Let's take a look at possibly some stocks that could be setting up. But before we do that, guys, if you could do me this quick favor, if you could click that subscribe button on YouTube, also click that bell icon when it pops up so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And if you find these videos to be useful or helpful, if you could do me that favor as well and leave that brief comment. Thank you so much yesterday. A lot of comments yesterday. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That does help a lot. And you know, you guys are just the best. I truly appreciate it. Because I'm handicapped here today, I can't show you the really good patterns here in the chart necessarily in TC2000, so I'm going to give you just a few stocks here to be paying attention to. First off, take a look at this CTLT in a nice little consolidating pattern here on that chart. Got to tell you, this shows that potential that this could pop on through. We had 4 days right in here of this kind of narrowing of that choppy range. Watch that carefully. If we have follow-through bullishness today, maybe we can push on through to the upside. Keep a close eye on that. You might also want to keep an eye, and by the way, I have a bias on this. Picked up a position in Uber, even though it's going to be reporting earnings relatively soon. There's plenty of time in here to make some money, and this moved up nicely here yesterday, looking like it could have that possibility even of pushing through to the upside. So I would keep a pretty close eye on that. Now, we've had quite the volatility that showed up here all of a sudden in Walmart, but interesting day yesterday. We whipsawed down the day before and came into this price support here in the chart and completely reversed it yesterday. So I would be keeping an eye on Walmart here for that possibility. If we could get follow through on any kind of data today, this pushes on out, and then we might be working that move here in that chart where we can push this on, where we could push this on to test some of those highs here in the market. So you can see we could push right up in here into this next resistance level of the chart. Sorry, I don't use this all the time, so forgive me here for the jumpiness, but as you can see, we could push right up into there if we could follow through on that chart today. So looking pretty good. You guys know I've been kind of keeping an eye on this Hershey. Hershey has been trying to build this pattern down here on the bottom and whipsawing along here quite a bit, but I still think it's worth keeping an eye on this. We're seeing some pretty good strength in some of these defensive sector stocks. Watch that pretty carefully. If we can break out of under this little move right in here, then we could start stretching to the upside. And we're seeing this morning, we look there at Colgate, a defensive sector stock that looks like it's moving higher here in the pre-market. So keep that in mind, and there's another one of those consolidating patterns here to be paying attention to. Now, that's all I'm going to cover this morning here on this because I feel so disjointed, but I also want to make sure and remind everyone about today's economic calendar this morning. Today, prior to the bell, we're going to get personal incomes and outlays, and we know this is a potential market moving report. So keep a close eye on this. Right now they're suggesting the personal income month over month declined from 0.4 to 0.3, and personal consumption they're suggesting moved up pretty hard here, up 2 points. So keep an eye on that. Core PCE number month over month, they're suggesting that also ticked higher, and core PCE year over year, they're suggesting that ticked higher. So remember, I don't know how the market is going to react to this, but if we start seeing these numbers not being supportive of the Fed cutting rates, that could be a little bit problematic because we have really priced in a lot of rate cuts here for this year, and we'll see if they can hold on to that. Now, the core PCE, as you can see, price index month over month, they're looking for that to tick a little bit higher, and remarkably, the year over the year, all of these short-term metrics are showing us a tick higher in their estimation, but they're still saying we're going to move down on the annual core PCE to 3.0. So just keep an eye on that. This could be a market moving report. You'll want to be paying pretty close attention to it. And then, of course, we've got pending home sales for tomorrow, so keep an eye on that. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. Sorry for the different video, but I wanted to do my best for you. You all have a great day, and more importantly, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all right back here bright and early Monday morning. Take care, everyone.